This video will show you how to replace a VVT solenoid on a Cadillac CTS with a 3.6 liter engine. Located on each side of the front of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. We're going to remove the upper engine cover. To do that, make your way to the engine oil cap. We'll turn that counterclockwise so we can remove it. Inspect the seal. Just make sure it's in good usable order. If it's torn, you're going to want to replace that. To remove the engine cover, gently lift up. We'll set that aside and reinstall the engine oil cover. Now that we have the cover out of the way, we're going to be making our way down towards the driver's side VVT solenoids down in this area. This is going to be located in and behind our power steering reservoir, so this will have to be dislodged so we can gain access in that area. Now, since this does have to move, and I want to try to avoid removing any power steering fluid, I'm going to be removing this air inlet tube here, then we'll continue on with the reservoir, slide it out of the way so we can gain access. Now, as far as this air inlet tube, you do have a breather tube that leads down to it along the inboard side there. It's fairly simple to just take hold of that and slide it out of place. If it feels like it's stuck in position, you can attempt to use a pick. Just be careful not to cause any damage. We'll rest that aside. Now, to continue removing this area here, you're going to find that you have two clamps, one here, one down there. The process will be the same. You can use a flat blade screwdriver or an 8mm socket. We'll loosen each clamp enough that it can move, and we should be able to separate this. Make our way down to the next. Slide this right out of position. You can see where that tube went onto. We can gain access to the power steering reservoir hardware now. You're going to find that you have two 13mm headed mounting bolts. You'll have one on this corner on the inboard side. You're going to find one hidden down along the bottom of the reservoir, but then you're also going to have an 18mm mounting bolt over towards the driver's side. I'm going to start with the larger bolt here first. Let's make our way down for the 13mm bolt under here. Fairly difficult to see. We have the next one tucked into this area. With that slid out of the way, we can see our two VVT solenoids. We have one right here, the next one's just below it. Now, as you can tell, I do have an oily mess in this area, so I'm going to have to clean it up. I don't like to get anything inside of the engine oiling system. So with that said, whatever type of cleaner you use, you want to be extremely careful not to get it on either of your belts. Okay. Obviously, it's your vehicle. Clean it as well as you deem fit. Once you have it cleaned down, you can start the removal process of the VVT solenoid. Now, as far as the VVT solenoids are concerned, this upper one here, closest to the intake plenum, is the intake VVT. The one that's a little lower, closer to where your manifolds would be, the exhaust manifolds, that one's going to be the exhaust VVT. The process will be the same for either. Start by disconnecting the electrical connector. As far as the electrical connector, it should have a locking tab. You want to squeeze it in and then lift it up and out of place. If you find you have a hard time squeezing in the tab and pulling this out of place, you can use a small pick on the opposite side. Try to lift up on the locking tab. While lifting up on that, I'm just going to carefully pull this out of place. Every time you disconnect an electrical connector, a quick peek for corrosion. If you see any, it needs to be taken care of. This looks good. Now we have a 10mm bolt holding this in place. We'll take hold of the VVT solenoid, attempt to give it a twist to break it free, and then slide it out and away. If you need to pry, just be careful not to break it off in the engine. There it is, friend. Now, prior to installing any brand new part, of course we want to make sure we clean and inspect the mounting area. For this, we're cleaning inside of the circular port, being careful not to press anything into that port, which might contaminate the engine oil. Aside from that, we'll also clean and inspect the mounting bolt port as well. For this, I'm just using a clean rag, no detergents. Just give that a quick twist, go inside the port, work our way around. A close inspection, this looks good. Mounting bolt port looks good as well. Now it's time to install the brand new VVT solenoid. We're going to line this up with the hole. We'll carefully slide it in straight. You can pivot it as necessary, and of course, once you do have it bottomed out, we're making sure our mounting bolt port is aligned as well. With that port aligned, let's continue on to the mounting bolt. Start it in, bottom it out. Now I'll torque it to 89 inch-pounds. Take hold of the VVT solenoid, confirm it does not move around in any way. Continue on with your electrical connector. Line it up, press it in, listen for a click, and make sure it's secure. As I mentioned, the process for one is the exact same thing as the other one just below it. One last quick inspection in this area. Let's reinstall our power steering reservoir. Let's get this reservoir in place. We have two 13mm mounting bolts, one on the inboard upper side here. The second 13mm bolt is down along the bottom. And now we have our 18mm headed mounting bolt on the far outside corner of this. They're all started in, let's snug them up. Make sure that's secured in place. Now let's get this in place. Before I bring it down into position, as you remember, there was one hose that slid down onto this area. You want to make sure you don't forget that. With that said, let's go ahead and get this in position. We're starting up along the intake plenum on the front here. That's where your throttle body is. Just bring it down. We're aligning this. You're going to press it on as far as possible. Make sure the clamp is nice and tight. You don't want any dirty air making its way inside of the engine. If when tightening your clamps, it skips a tooth, you're going to want to replace that clamp. This was good, so let's continue on. This tube's pretty much already aligned, which is nice. I'm just pressing it onto the air filter housing. I'm holding it in the proper position, and then of course I'm going to tighten that clamp. That's secure as well. Time for that hose down along the back side. As far as this hose is concerned, just go ahead and line it up. We'll press it down on there as far as possible. Once you feel as though you have it in the proper placement, just go ahead and give it a light tug. You want to make sure it's secured. If it slides off of there fairly easily, you can hold it in place with something as basic as a wire tie if necessary. We're getting ready to install the upper engine cover. We have to remove the engine oil cap. Now let's get that engine cover in place. When we bring it over towards the engine, up along the top of the intake plenum, you will have several studs. We have the one that we just removed and installed. You have the other two along the back side there. Let's get this in place. As I start bringing this down, the easiest way to line this up is to align the circular port for the oil fill. After that, just make sure it looks as though it's straight. We'll give it a wiggle. It feels like it wants to settle in, so I'm going to press it down. Now I'll just give it a quick wiggle here. We do want to make sure it's secured along all four corners. Let's get that oil cap in place. Double check, make sure that's secured so no moisture or debris make its way inside of your oil system. Okay friend, we finished our installation. Now whenever I do something like this, I always recommend doing an engine oil and filter change afterward. After that, you can go ahead and start the vehicle. You're going to let it run, make sure you have no running condition and no check engine light. Close the hood, take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.